We're now only a couple of days away from Apple's big iPhone 16 event, and we're starting to get a bunch of last-minute leaks coming in terms of the new features and changes that we should expect for the new iPhones, as well as Apple Watches, the couple of new AirPods 4 models, and iPads as well. So let's jump right into it. By the way, we're actually here in Berlin, Germany for the first time ever for IFA, so it's really cool to be here, especially that awesome old school church back there looks absolutely amazing. Let's jump into the leaks. The first thing I want to address with the new iPhone 16 launch is that brand new bronze-like color that has been leaked for a while. Well, it turns out with new leaks, it's not actually going to be bronze. It's going to look more kind of sand dune-ish color. It's not going to be rose gold either. It's just literally going to have a nice new gold finish with the titanium. I think it's going to look absolutely amazing. I'm personally probably going to pick up that new finish. And then next up, another big feature that's coming to all of the new iPhone 16 models, that's the iPhone 16, the 16 Plus, the 16 Pro, and the 16 Pro Max, is the brand new capture button. Yes, it's coming to all of them. And the cool leak that we just got was that Apple's own cases are actually not going to have a cutout for that capture button like we've been seeing in all of these different iPhone 16 case leaks. They all have that cutout to prepare for it, but Apple is not going to have it. It seems like it's the same thing that happened with the new action button, where a lot of initial cases had a cutout because they weren't sure how to use it and what was going to be there. Well, the capture button with Apple's cases is not going to have it. And the cool thing about the capture button is that it's going to be basically a capacitive touch button, where if you kind of press it down halfway, it's going to lock the focus and the white balance and everything else just for a split second until you fully press it down to snap the photo, which is really cool. Or of course, you can press and hold to do a different action, like take a video. And apparently they're even gonna open that up to third parties to potentially let them do other things, other actions. You could even swipe left and right to zoom in, out, or switch between different custom functions, which is really cool as well. And camera features are actually gonna be a big part of the new iPhone 16 launch, at least with the Pro models. For example, the regular 16 Pro is now going to get the 5x tetra prism lens, which is very exciting. I personally love that. Both of them are actually getting the 48 megapixel ultra wide, which is a huge upgrade, with the current ultra wide being limited to 12, and it's very grainy, especially when it gets dark. On top of that, we're also expected to get 3K resolution 120 FPS recording, which is very cool. That's finally going to give you better slow motion. We're also expecting a brand new JPEG XL format, so you no longer have to use the HEIF Max, which doesn't have the best compatibility. And both the iPhone 16 and 16 Plus models are finally going to support the new macro mode, since they don't right now. So there are a lot of camera changes coming to these new iPhone 16 models. Now, what I'm personally excited for the most is the new display sizes on the Pro and Pro Max. We're going from 6.1 to 6.3 inches on the Pro, and from 6.7 to 6.9 on the Pro Max. Not only that, but the bezels are getting even thinner. Even though they got thinner with the current 15 lineup with the Pro models, they're getting even thinner this time around to be the thinnest bezels in the world. So I'm very excited for that. I think they're going to be very immersive. Plus, we're going up to 1200 nits of brightness this year, so it's going to be better for when you're going outside. And in general, you just get a little bit more flexibility with that brightness. You're also getting newer panels that are more efficient, so they're not necessarily going to use more battery life, which is great. And we are getting new batteries as well, stainless steel casings, which mean they can fit more juice inside of them since they don't swell as much. They're using new technology, bigger batteries as well. I think this is going to be a killer upgrade for the iPhones. And with that said, let's jump into the new Apple Watch models. Now, before we move on to the other Apple device leaks, I first want to give a huge shout out to our sponsor ESR, who is launching a brand new lineup of stash stand cases with the new Classic Hybrid case, the Cloud Soft, and the Cyber Tough, which have three different things in common. First of all, they're all very protective with shock absorbing air guard corners. They also have a built-in camera guard stash stand, which is really cool because it gives you a lot of different angles where you could stand it up for, let's say, watching videos, watching movies. And the cool thing is that it doesn't impact the MagSafe compatibility, which all three of these cases have MagSafe. They're also very thin, so you get the fastest charging speeds. Let's say you're using ESR's brand new Qi 2 Cryo Boost car charger, which works very well. And also you get a lot of magnetic force with these MagSafe cases as well. And in terms of the differences between these right here, first of all, the classic hybrid has a transparent design. It has over 3x military grade protection, while we have the Cloud Soft case, which feels really nice with a silicone exterior. It actually has 7 layers, including microfiber on the inside, also very protective with fun colors. And finally, we have the Cyber Tough Armor, which has 3 very strong layers. It's definitely the most rugged out of the bunch. It has this little port cover on the bottom, and it exceeds 7x military grade protection, withstanding drops from 23 feet, which is very impressive. So I've got to say, these are very, very good cases. And if you're upgrading, you definitely want to pick up one of these. So definitely use my link below in the description to pick up one of the new ESR stash stand cases. In terms of the Apple Watch, there are actually some big changes as well as small changes. For example, with the Ultra, we're getting the Ultra 3, but we're not expecting a redesign. We're expecting probably a new space black color, which I think is going to help a lot with sales. We're also expecting a brand new 3nm chip, which is going to come on the Ultra, as well as the new Apple Watch Series 10, which that is actually going to be getting larger displays, which is pretty exciting. We had some leaks saying that the display might actually be flat, just like on the Ultra, so I'm excited to see what kind of design it'll look like, because we actually worked to create some nice renders showing off a potential Series 10 design. Of course, we're expecting a new chip, but not much else, because a lot of the new sensor stuff has been delayed until next year, unfortunately. But we are expecting the new Apple Watch SE, which could get a new plastic design on the outside compared to aluminum, with a lot of fun colors, kind of like with the iPhone 5C. I think that could be a big seller for a lot of teens and kids, getting them Apple Watches instead of iPhones with cellular plans that are expensive. I think that could be big for Apple if they price it right. On top of that, we're expecting a couple of new AirPods models. Now, it's not going to be the AirPods Pro 3, which I'm really excited about. That's going to be delayed until probably next year, but we are getting the AirPods 4 and some sort of an AirPods 4 Plus model that actually has a differentiation, where we're getting active noise cancellation on a regular AirPods model for the first time, which I'm very excited about. It's also going to have the same speakers on the bottom with Apple Find My support, which can play a sound so you won't lose them. But the regular AirPods 4, it's not going to have those features. It's going to be more standard with an updated design, probably a different case, and the big thing is better sound quality with better speaker drivers. So those models are going to replace the current AirPods 2 and the AirPods 3 that are up for sale. So I think it's going to be a huge deal in terms of sales for these new AirPods 4 models. And finally, with that said, let's finish off with the iPad models. Now, we are expecting the new iPad 11, which is going to come out with an updated chip, but don't expect anything major in terms of the design. We might get some new colors, but it's pretty much going to be the same thing. We might actually be getting a new keyboard on top of that, which might make it a cool little update. But in terms of the iPad Mini 7, we recently got a leak from Mark Gurman saying that a lot of the iPad Mini stock, the current iPad Mini 6, is going very, very low before this Apple event, which gives me confidence that they're likely going to update it at this event. I wasn't sure if it's going to be this one or potentially sometime in October, but it's looking more and more likely that it's going to be at the September event, and that's going to come with a basically new display design where you're not going to have the jelly scrolling issues anymore, which is really cool. It's going to have the A17 Pro chip, so it's going to support the new Apple Intelligence features. But other than that, it's probably going to be the same in terms of general feature set and design. It's still going to be a really great iPad, and personally, the Mini is my favorite. So I think that's going to be very, very exciting. So with that said, hopefully you enjoy this video live from Berlin, Germany. It's been a blast. We're actually going to come back literally 12 hours before the Apple event starts. So we're going to be very busy, very tired, but we are so excited for this new Apple event and what's to come for the rest of the month of September. It's gonna be awesome. So hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts down below. Definitely subscribe for our content after the Apple event. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.